Hello everyone and welcome to PASconcept. Today we'll be going over the Proposals module, specifically the creation of a new proposal. To get to the Proposals module, you simply go up to the menu, click on Projects, then click on Proposals. This will take you to your proposals list. Once there, to create a new proposal, all you need to do is click on the blue Add Proposal button on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Doing so will take you to the Proposal Wizard. The Proposal Wizard is a 6-step process by which you could create easily and efficiently a new proposal. The first step revolves around the clients. Here, you simply select an existing client, or you can enter a new client from scratch. Any client that's entered in this step will be populated into your system. For now, let's choose an existing client. As you can see, not only do we get a chance to review the client information, in this case, it seems company type is not yet defined for this client, so let's go ahead and do so. Let's say in this case, they're a contractor. Perfect. You can update that information, but you can also view a bit more information in regards to the client. At the bottom, you'll be able to see some general information, mostly financially related in regards to the client. They currently have 0 pending proposals. They have about $111,000 worth of accepted proposals, and the jobs that they currently have open or closed total to about $143,000. However, it also looks like they have a past due balance of about $1,500 that is more than 90 days past due. This can give you a little bit of information as to how generous you'd like to be in regards to your proposal pricing. Once the client information is entered, you can go directly to your next step. Here, you're entering the basic information regarding the proposal. The very first step is your template. You can populate any number of templates within PASconcept. What this does is automatically populate certain areas of your proposal to make the process a lot smoother and a lot simpler. For example, if I were to choose the Architectural Services with Phases proposal updated for 2020, as you can see, it's auto-populated an opening text. It's also auto-populated a closing text. In the same way, it'll populate a certain subset of phases and tasks within those phases. Beyond that, payment information is also automatically populated, as well as the terms and conditions associated to this proposal. Once that's selected, you can go ahead and move on to enter some of the more basic information revolving the project. For example, the project name, the address. You can also add the job type. In this case, let's say a bank, the department that will be working on this project, the name of the owner. This can either be the name of the prime associated to the project if you're a subcontractor, or simply the name of the property owner. In this case, let's say Mark Garcia. You can also define which signature will show up on the proposal from the company's behalf. A company can either have a generic signature, or an individual employee can also have a signature that can be placed on the proposal itself. As far as quantity in units, let's say this is a 1,500 square foot project. The sector, it'll be in this case in the private sector, and the use and occupancy will be business. Now, as far as classification, once these two options are complete, a subset of classifications will be available. In this case, this proposal is being prepared by myself, but it can also be reviewed by a different party in the company. In this case, I'll be reviewing it as well. Once this information is complete and reviewed, you can head over to your next step. Here in the Fee and Scope section, you can see your phases and your proposal tasks. In this case, I've chosen a template that already came with phases and with tasks. You can see the information associated to each by simply clicking on the name of any element. If you click on a phase, you can go in and see what further information is being provided with this phase. As you can see, a phase primarily is just a grouping of tasks, but in this case holds a name. It also holds a little paragraph description, which you'll be able to see in the actual proposal. And in the case of a task, Once we go into a task, you can see that it's very similar, the only difference being twofold. One, it does certainly have a name, it has a description, but it also has pricing items. You can have quantity, you can have it be in hours or a rate. You can also utilize this estimator tool. Let's say for this specific task, I knew that I was going to need let's say a project coordinator for about 3 hours. And I was also going to need a drafter for about 5 hours. And I was also going to need a grade 1 engineer for about 6 hours. Well, then I know that based on my margins and my existing pricing for these individuals, that for me to ensure any type of profit, I would need to be charging at least $1,060. In this case, I'm charging $1,500, so that's absolutely in the clear for this specific task. Now, another item that helps substantially is when it comes to pass that, let's say this proposal is in fact accepted, my project manager will know that I, prior to the creation of this job, was accounting for about 15 hours or so for this specific task within this project. This way, it's a little easier for them to distribute their time. They'd know that for this task, they should be assigning a project coordinator and giving them about 3 hours worth of work. Additionally, a drafter for about 5 hours, an engineer for about 6 hours. Now, granted, this step is optional, but it's proven to be really helpful for a series of companies that currently use it. Now, once you've entered and ensured that all the information is accurate within your phases and your tasks, you can head over to your next step. Here, you're defining the project fees. Now again, because I've selected this template, it already came with a certain fee schedule. Now I can go ahead and change that. If I wanted to have it be by task or by phase, I can certainly bill in that fashion. For now, it's going to be a sum of all the fees distributed into varying percentages, as you can see here. Additionally, I can define whether I want a retainer, which is essentially a deposit or mobilization fee, as well as being able to hide the individual totals of each task. So let's head on over to our next step, and we'll come back to that step so you can see what are some of the visual differences that you can make within your proposal. The next step is terms and conditions. Here, you can either edit the existing terms and conditions directly, or you can select from any of your other terms and conditions templates, should this be something that you're interested in. In this case, we won't be making any modifications. We'll simply hit update and we'll move on to the next step. If by chance there are certain documents that you'd like associated to your proposal, say for example, images of the property that your client has sent over to you, any preliminary drawings or any preliminary blueprints that you'd like to associate to your proposal, you can upload those here and those can be shared and attached as part of the proposal as well. In this case, we won't be adding any additional documentation. And that's it. Essentially, the final step is just a preview of your proposal. Here you can see an exact copy as to what your client will be seeing. As you can see, it's got all the information. It's got your company's information on the top right-hand corner. It's got your client's information here. It's got the project-specific information here as well. You've got your opening text, which we saw in basic information. It's got your phase and its description, as we saw in the fee and scope area. It's got all the tasks that fell under that phase, and the same is true for every other phase beyond that point. Additionally, you can see here all the services and their corresponding fees, as well as any hour information that they might have already been entered. Now, if, say, for example, I wanted to simply show them this figure without showing the client the full breakdown, that's when I would go into this area and say, I want just lump sum pricing. Perfect. By doing so, when I go to my preview, now all of that specific information is gone and you simply get this total. Here you can see the payment description as well as each individual item. If by chance you also didn't want to show them the service fee table, you can also make that go away simply by going over to your payments area and click Hide Fee Summary. When you go back to your proposal, you'll notice that area is now gone, and simply put, the only thing at the bottom is a payment schedule with the same total and a breakdown of all the payments. Here at the bottom, you can see your closing text, which is the same that we defined in our basic information area, as well as the terms and conditions. Now, the next step would be sending them an email. Within PASconcept, we have the ability to send an email directly from the system by doing the following. We can hit send, we can define which message template we'd like to use, if we want to share the attached documents or not. In this case, there are no attached documents, so we're going to go ahead and say no. And in the following step, you get this pre-populated email, which can still be edited at this point before sending it to the client. Now that said, let's go back to our list. I'd like to show you what the client would see on their side. Obviously, they'd be receiving that email, but if they were to click on the button, they would be sent to this page. This is exactly what the client would see. They see the entirety of the proposal. They're also given the ability to jump around to different areas of the proposal as necessary. They're given the option to accept and digitally sign said proposal. But if they prefer to sign, say, on their iPhone because it's easier for them to sign with their finger as opposed to with a mouse, they can simply scan here, and on their phone, they would be given a prompt similar to this one where they can sign with their finger, allowing them to accept the proposal directly there. Once a proposal is accepted, that's everything you've got to do. The system will take care of generating a new project. The system will take care of generating any invoices. The system will even take care of sending out that initial invoice should you have chosen that retainer, which is essentially, like I mentioned, a deposit or a mobilization fee, or any item that's due upon signing. Now you know how to make a proposal in PASconcept. I wish you the best of luck, and if you've got any questions, remember you can always reach out to us. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.